Steven Mielhaus and here from DAZN, and we are in WrestleMania season. This gentleman right here, I actually saw him last night. I am based here in Chicago. He was strutting his stuff and shaking his hips like ravishing Rick Rude. He is the NXT Heavyweight Champion Dolph Ziggler, as he will defend against Bron Breakker. Coming up, NXT Stand and Deliver April 2nd at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. You can watch it live on Peacock here in the United States and everywhere else across the world on the WWE Network. And I have to ask, because my buddy could not stop laughing last night when you got on the apron and just started shaking those hips like ravishing Rick Rude. He tells me you stole it from him. I'm saying blasphemy.
Big Rick Rude fan. I'm pretty sure I passed it off on to Big E when he was my bodyguard, who infected all of the New Day with it. So especially when I got a title around my waist, I want to grind those hips in. It's purely Rick Rude's move, but a lot of us borrow it, and I have a good time doing it.
Are you the best one to do it right now on the roster?
Yeah, because I think other people just do it on a whim and don't really focus on it. I'm like, no. This is getting dirty and gritty. I'm popping a title in your face with it too. So yeah, I think there's no question. Even Big E, who can do the splits, I think it's you gotta really feel that fire in your eyes while you do it.
Now, can you do the splits?
What's that?
Can you do the splits or no?
I tried. I can get about this far away. I tried that whole pandemic. I was just trying to stretch more and more, but I guess you have to have someone assisting you, because when you go as far as you can go, you need someone to just push you for an extra inch or two or something. So that's how you develop, slowly get it more and more. I didn't have someone to push my back. So one day.
Are you a single guy?
Yes. As far as my girlfriends and wife, no, yeah, for sure.
No, I'm being serious.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
How is a good-looking man like yourself, a handsome-looking man like yourself, single? How does this happen? I'm very confused.
I prefer it.
God bless you. Is it ever something you want to do? When the career's over?
No, I'm not against it. It's just I focus on work so much, and I have hobbies on the outside that I really love doing. And when I get one day off, I used to debate, in the old WWE schedule before the pandemic, we used to have 5-6 days a week I was on, or 2 weeks in a row if I was doing comedy shows. And I go, well, I got 32 hours at home. Is it worth it to go on this date and knock off 8 of these hours or something? And you're like, I think I'm just going to watch some TV tonight, and relax. So I used to debate. Now I got a little more time on my hands, but I'm busy. I want to focus on comedy, wrestling, politics, all that stuff. And if it happens, I'm here for it.
I was talking, the guys I was with last night, they were asking me about your comedy, why isn't he back on the road? And all I did, Dolph, during a commercial break on Raw, hit the Twitter machine, noticed you got a comedy show coming up. Part of the collective, and I think this is pretty cool. Heel on the Mark presents DZ Does Dallas on March the 31st, 6 p.m. Central Time. Fair Park, the Creative Arts Building, and Dolph Ziggler, comedian Dan Black, and surprise guests perform a night of stand-up comedy at WrestleMania weekend. And how did this come all about, Dolph?
Well, I've been a fan my whole life, and I've been filling up notebooks since college of just things that make me mad, which is everything. And so just little things that tick you off. I got maybe 30 notebooks at my house, and my brother and I have been watching Saturday Night Live and doing improv sketches and doing stuff together for 15 years. So it's just, I go, this is something I want to try. And if my name, because if people know me from wrestling, gets me in the door, great. But also there's times you do an open mic and I got a black hat on and my hair tucked away, and I'm Nick, and I'm trying to talk about Chipotle or dating to see if anything lands. And it's just, you try and sharpen your skills. It takes 5,000 reps just to figure out what your voice is and what the hell you're doing. And I am nowhere near there. So I'm at 45. So any chance we can do a show, it's WrestleMania weekend, a bunch of fans, everyone's asking, I'm like, cool, it's one more rep to get on and then back to focusing on the match.
What's better for you? Is there less pressure when you got the hair and the hat and your Nick, or when you come out and do a routine as Dolph?
I think there's more pressure as Dolph, because you come out and it's like, we're happy to see you. We know you, Dolph, from wrestling. And like, you're so good. Make us laugh. And you're like, but it's just so like they know you being good at your job. They know you being around. They know this. And if you're not killing it, they're like, why? What? I thought this guy was good at stuff. And then, but if you're Nick, you know, the hat on, and you go up on stage and it doesn't land, you're like, well, I know that genuinely didn't land. It's not, you don't get like forced fake laughs from fans. So you know what works and doesn't work. And that's when it comes down to like figuring out what jokes land and work and don't. It doesn't always help to have a, you know, a WWE audience who might just be happy to see you. So that's how you find out what works. And then, most of the time I make them sit through 30 minutes of my stand-up so they can get their meet and greet and get a picture taken or something. Yeah.
How has being in WWE helped your stand-up?
Huge. And it's not just the wrestling part and talking on a microphone in front of a crowd. It's meeting with shareholders, meeting with potential clients, meeting with people where you become comfortable and you can talk. Not everyone does it on social media or anything, but like, I can talk politics, I can talk business, I can talk money, I can talk sports, I can talk wrestling, I can talk about how WWE's audience is 40% women now and what we're doing here and so I can do all these different things so I can almost have a conversation with anyone. But if I'm not at work or in those business meetings or anything, trust me, if I'm out somewhere, I just hanging out, not looking to start a conversation with anybody, but I can be in that zone at all times and good to go. A modern day renaissance, man, and men and women, what we have to be at WWE to be able to succeed here,
No, absolutely, 110%. And you earlier talked about Saturday Night Live, and I had my mind churning there because I'm a big fan. Favorite cast and why?
Whoa, what do you got?
I like the old stuff with Eddie Murphy and that whole crew. That's like I just turned 41, so that I remember a lot of that stuff. Like, man, you look good for 41, by the way. God bless.
Right? I feel like people should be saying that more often. I've had a lot of work done, but it's still just. I think that's what I talked to my friend Justin Roberts. He's the ring announcer for AEW. Him and I have been talking Saturday Night Live for 20 years, and we always go over the old stuff, the new stuff, whatever's going on. We'll go back on Peacock and watch every episode that's ever happened, and we go back and talk about it. And I think it goes back to the nostalgia of being like a teenager who kind of gets it and kind of gets to stay up. So like the Dana Carvey, David Spade years I think those stand out. But I'm a huge Lovitz guy. Phil Hartman was like the ultimate utility player.
Yes, sir.
It all just depends, how you feel. If you go back and rewatch everything, you're like, oh, I remember Massive Head Wound Harry, but the other 78 minutes of that show wasn't that good. Like, I don't know. You never know like what stands out. Like, but just watching guys like so I read all those books about Saturday Night Live too, and it's like Tom Hanks or Alec Baldwin or I'm leaving somebody out. Maybe John Goodman got to be so comfortable with these guys. Like they're not just their PR person says, hey, they don't want to do this, see you later. It's they're in a corner writing with guys at 3 a.m. and switching punchlines by a word. And you go, those people are putting in the work. I want to be that for my company, what those guys are doing for Saturday Night Live.
It took a lot of people by surprise to see you on NXT. And then it took people more of a surprise when you became the NXT Heavyweight Champion. And just if you can lead me through a little bit, what led to the process of you ending up on NXT?
Rude and I first of all, Rude can do anything. He's a genius in the ring and he's jacked and he backs it up and can do friggin' anything. Putting the two of us together, I go, wow, we could be the opening match with brand new tag team. We could be in the main event for 60 minutes with the Usos tearing it down. You name it, we could do it. We go, you know what? Wouldn't mind checking out anyone from NXT tends to have their first match with me anyway, including Robert Roode when he came up. So I go, you know what? Let's check this out. Like, let's see if anybody's got some up and comers back and report back to Vince. Let them know like this guy's ready to go, this girl's ready to go, something. And I just thought it would be a couple of weeks and seeing where I could fit in. And right away in Breakker's face, and somehow I become the champion a few weeks later. Doesn't even make sense to me. But the idea of it just being there and having that presence and hopefully helping just even 1 or 10% more people get some eyes on NXT, then I've done my job. But I don't want to stop there. I want to have it. We go to Stand and Deliver and people walk out of Stand and Deliver going, man, I hope WrestleMania can follow that.
Because that's been the trend, in past, when they had the takeovers. And is that the mark for you in your mind? Because people are going to watch for you. They're watching you and Bron. They're no disrespect to the rest of the show, because I know the show is going to be great. But everyone, this as well as I do. People watch for the main event. Do you feel that extra pressure now at your stage of your career, or is it like, I've been here, I've done this, I know, or I already know what to expect?
It's both, because I know what I can do. I know how, if I give a C+ effort, the match suffers and it sucks.
Yeah.
No matter how great Breakker is. But if I use everything in my head that I go, I can take over this match. I can make it count. I can do everything in the right spots. And if everybody walks out of there saying like, that was okay, that's on me. If everyone walks out of there saying, wow, I hope WrestleMania can follow that, then then I've done my job. So it's weird. It's weird to me going, I'm the NXT champion, but as much as I've been around and I'm bitter and I'm over some stuff, when you have a title, you go, man, this is something special. It could be another pivot in my career to something bigger, putting some more eyes on NXT because I was the champ. And if I go, if I was only the champ for a month or 2 months or 3 months, I go, and I leave, did I make NXT better? And did I make myself better? And I'm in the process of doing both. So I'm not okay with like, hey, if say this Breakker beats me at Stand and Deliver, and I go, and that's it. I go, man, we missed out on something. I did something wrong. So I want not just to be champ, which blows my mind that I'm the NXT champ. Not just to be champ, but when the time comes for me to finally lose that title, it all makes sense. And everyone goes, damn, that was awesome. And they cheer their hearts out, whether they wanted it or not because I was okay. And they go, oh, Dolph, the 40-year-old guy in NXT, like, what's the point? Like, no. I can go with anybody, anytime, any place, you name it, and I'll outdo them. So if you can hang with me, then this is going to tear it down.
You said this a couple times already. You keep saying it blows your mind. It seems like you're like just caught by surprise by all this. Why does it blow your mind that you are the NXT Heavyweight Champion?
One, when you're a kid, you go, oh, Hulk Hogan's the champ or Ultimate Warrior's the champ. I want to face him and this would be great. And in my head, I go, NXT, let me see what I can do. Let me see if there's anybody worth getting into a fight with or calling them up or getting a match. And even when I was like, Breakker, man, there's something special there. He needs a little time, but man, he is good and special and explosive. And that spear hurts harder than any of them. And I've been speared by Goldberg. So I go, man, there's something special here. I go, I wonder if I can get him up to Raw and maybe we get a couple matches. We'll see where he's at. And then the next thing you know, it's a couple weeks later and I'm the champion. So that's what blows my mind. I have a superior brain to many, not just in the business, but in general. So when it comes down to it, I trick the kid into putting his title on the line to where he could lose the title without even getting pinned. And I go, if anyone's going to take a shortcut to steal a victory, you better believe it's me.
Oh, you're damn right. You look at, where do you view yourself right now? Do you because you talked about earlier, like going to NXT and, and then reporting back to Vince, like, oh, I think this guy's ready. Maybe this guy needs a little more seasoning, whether it's a guy or a girl. I take it as a player coach, in this scenario. Is it how you view it yourself, or do you view it, or you're not at that stage yet?
Very, very much. But I was like that at Kent State. Even like my sophomore year in college, I would sit for 3 or 4 of our guys during their matches. I would sit in the coach's seat. So I've always been a bit of a player coach, and I enjoy that a lot. So when it comes out to that's like Charlie Hustle, that's Pete Rose, man, player coach. And
yes,
he's like, and he's still the one leaping in the air and putting it all on the line just to get to second base. Like, of course, player coach is the way to be. And because the day someone pulls me aside and says, it looks like you lost a step out there or you didn't really have it tonight, that will haunt me forever. And then that will have to go, okay, I got to fix something or get the hell out of here. But until then, I'm probably in the best shape of my life right now. I feel fantastic. I can go with anybody. I need people to be able to go with me. It's just, I think it's a surreal thing to have me as champ, but long term, this is a big win for NXT and myself, I think.
I have to ask you this because I wouldn't be doing my job as a journalist, because I saw a picture of you recently. It was at Zack Ryder's wedding, and you were a groomsman in the wedding, and I thought that was really cool. And we've seen a lot of different people, and someone kind of was just lurking off to the back right, not really smiling too much, and a guy you know very well in Cody. And a lot of, I imagine,
love Cody.
You heard the chants last night, and what do you make of all this rumor and innuendo of him possibly coming back?
I think it's great. I mean, the whole point of the old territory days was to do something special, make your mark, go to another city, go to another territory, you name it. Maybe come back 6 months later, maybe you bounce around. Like that's, I mean, you go where you think you're needed, and if you think you've run out, then you go somewhere else. And a lot of times we don't have a secondary place to go. Like there was WCW, there's AEW now, Ring of Honor, Impact, you name it. But it wasn't always we can spare 100 other guys at a company. So just sometimes people can come and go, and sometimes they can't. And if you go, you know what? Someone like Zack Ryder, who is so much better off for doing a creative, like going on his own and doing a creative thing. Like it's just, you realize that WWE, which I love, is not the end all be all for everybody. So if he decides to come back or does something, I hope it's something cool at WrestleMania, but I have no idea. But clearly he's not, I don't know. I think I haven't asked him personally if he's with a company or not, but I know he's got a baby at home, and maybe this is the perfect time to take advantage of that because we're constantly on the road.
I have to ask this because you talked earlier about Kent State, and you were a wrestler at Kent State. And what's your favorite combat sport outside of wrestling? Is it boxing or mixed martial arts?
Man, it depends. I in my off seasons in high school, I boxed just to have good footwork and stay in shape and stuff. But I mean, MMA rocks. I like watching that. But I mean, to me, football is my favorite friggin' thing. I love it. I'm a Browns fan, so we've been kind of screwed for 95% of my life. But it's still it was my favorite thing to do in high school. I was like 4'11" in high school, so I was like,
oh wow,
great hands, good for wrestling 103 pounds, but also too small. I was fast, good hands, but I was like the 6th string receiver and 4th string cornerback because I was fast and I can make plays. Just everybody had me by 6 inches or a foot. So eventually it caught up. But I love football. I love being like a roaming cornerback that can blitz if you feel like it, or can drop back into coverage, let somebody get past you and catch up and steal the pass. Like I live for that stuff. I love football. What
are your Browns doing? I'm a Bears fan. I don't even know what my Bears are doing. What are your Cleveland Browns doing, Mr. Ziggler? I do not. I'm so confused and baffled by what's going on right now.
I will use a lot less swear words than I did with my friends before this interview. Because when I landed, they're like, here's some more updates, here's some developments. I don't know what's happening. Whatever we've done it in the wrong, completely backwards order. We made Baker angry, and he was banged up. And then we went looking for somebody else while he's still on our team. It's like, you're dating somebody.
Yeah.
But you publicly go on Instagram and ask one of those Instagram models out on a date. And when she says no, you go, babe, the original girlfriend, you're the only one for me. You know that. Like, well, why did you publicly ask this? Like, that's what's happening with the Browns, plus 10,000 other things. I'm very disappointed in how everything's turning out. I don't know what's going to happen. And I won't even get into Watson. I don't know what's going to happen to him, if he's even going to be available for the season. I don't understand any of these moves. And it seems like it's all the opposite and in reverse order. So 101, typical Browns.
Who's the bigger Browns fan, you or Miz?
Miz has more connections, so he gets more free gear. But I feel, and he knows more fantasy sports stuff.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He'll be like, hey, you know this third string Georgia Tech linebacker? I'm like, no, I have no idea who that is. I don't know what you're talking about. But I love the Browns. I follow them. I watch them. I liked how Baker was one of those guys that reminded me of Cleveland. It's like, we're tough, we're gritty, we're getting screwed or beat up, and like he's playing hurt. You know, I had a pulled groin 5 years ago and wrestled right through it. Was doing 20 minutes a night. It's like, he wants that. He wants the team on his shoulders and to drag them to victory. And that's how I feel. And that's how a lot of Clevelanders feel. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. He might just stay on the team. I don't know.
That would be something. That would be a Cleveland Browns move.
100%. 100%.
Well, and with this, why should fans watch NXT Stand and Deliver coming up on Saturday, April the 2nd from the America Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas?
Well, not only are the two co-headlining main event champions, Mandy Rose and myself, WWE or NXT.
Yes.
Not only are we the draw, those two matches are the two I'm looking forward to the most. But most importantly, at Stand and Deliver, Bron Breakker, he's awesome. He's explosive. He's powerful. In a year or two, he's going to have it figured out and be ready to go. Right now, I'm way too smart for him. But if this match doesn't steal the show for that weekend, then I messed up. And when the hell's the last time that I didn't deliver?
That is definitely true. Is he the guy, the future guy, you feel like when you look at him and you see what he brings? I've talked to him once, and I came away with that sentiment from that interview and just watching him for the last 6-7 months.
I'll give you the less nice version that everyone can. You're like, him? Oh my God. Yeah, of course he can. He can be a Hall of Famer. That's easy to say. And you can say it about anybody, but it doesn't always happen. But having been in close contact with them for this 1 month, and I famously don't watch wrestling or NXT or anything, this month, seeing you see something in people's eyes, and whether it gets accomplished or not, you know that he's not okay with an A- match. He's not okay with, okay, I'm a little tired here, I'll just kind of foam this part in and we'll get back to it. Yeah. He wants to be explosive at all times and prove that he should be there on his own merit. So I love that. I can't wait to get hit with that spear and have the wind taken out of me and kick the hell out and slap him around afterwards. So I think one day, of course, he has the tools and what you would say about anybody ever in developmental. Yeah. But there's an explosiveness in him that I don't see in 2/3 of our roster.
That's very high praise coming from yourself. And he headlines NXT Stand and Deliver coming up on Saturday, April 2nd from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, as he defends the title against Bron Breakker. You can catch it live here in the United States on Peacock and everywhere else across the world on the WWE Network. We have never chatted before, and this was definitely my pleasure. I was looking forward to it as soon as I saw you come out last night and you strutting your hips like Ravishing Rick. That little pose you guys do in the ring, by the way, that is
it's fun.
Rude's got those guns, man.
Rude's jacked.
You're jacked.
I can pop my hips a little bit. I got the abs there. We're a hell of a combo. I'll tell you that much.
Instead of
and we look even better at Hooters afterwards. So it's a win for everyone.
So you guys need to come up with a better. I love the Dirty Dogs name, but you can go a couple different routes with how you guys look for the terms of your name.
Yeah, that's true. I know. It's so many people have said our name stuff so many times, and we did a year or two where we didn't even have matching gear. We didn't want to be called team. I liked that we were like two hired guns that were in a tag team division. I really like that aspect of it. But I go, after 2 years and like we're constantly these teams and we're constantly I go, we're gonna have to start getting matching gear. Like, let's get a name. And Dirty Dogs is funny. I think Zack Ryder came up with it, and I think it was because he was singing the old New Kids on the Block song, which makes it even funnier. But Dirty Dogs works, and like also, I'm so glad it's sitting right here. It's also one of my favorite places to go in Phoenix. Ooh, the old Dirty Dog Saloon. It's a good time.
I love it, man. I got to get myself to Phoenix.
Yeah, it's cool. Hell of a place.
It's been a pleasure, Dolph. Thank you so much for the time, and I look forward to next weekend, my friend, and I look forward to our next conversation.
Sounds good, man. Good talking to you.
All right, you too. Thank you very much.
Take it easy.